So today we'll be talking about PowerPoint, and like we did last week, our concern will mainly be on PowerPoint 2016. PowerPoint, we used to create and we used to open what presentations. We can format text even using what PowerPoint. So just like Word, the way we did some formatting. So it means that I'm not going to really talk about the formatting text, because whatever we did last week in Word applies to what PowerPoint. But I'm going to touch on some of the formatting techniques, but I'm not going to go into details like we did last week. And then we look at the bullets and then the numbering. We are looking at animation and transition. Now, when we talk about PowerPoint, most of the work will fall around this area. So animation and transition. And then how to add objects. So by object, we mean how we can add videos or how we can add pictures to our PowerPoint presentation. Then we are going to look at a technique called rehearsing. So where maybe you want to go and give a presentation, and you can set up your PowerPoint to rehearse the presentation. And then you can use that rehearsal, especially when you are going to do presentation, like we are saying, our theses and then our projects. And you are going to be given 10 minutes. It is very good for you to rehearse and then try and use your rehearsal, like try and check the time for each slide movement, so that it can help you to present within 10 minutes. So what rehearsing does is that it allows you, once you are doing the presentation, anytime you skip the slide or you go to the next slide, it records the time that you use between the time that you started, you came to that slide, and then the time that you are exiting the slide. So that the next time when you are presenting, you don't have to do what? You don't have to click or hit your mouse to move it. So it will record your time. So by the time you speak like 5 seconds, and the first time you did the rehearsal was 5 seconds, it means that after 5 seconds, even when you are talking, it will move to the next session. And then we have the last thing that we are going to do, looking at recording presentation. So we can record presentation just like we are doing now. You can actually record presentation, and then you can post on YouTube or on Facebook, or you can even record and send. Maybe you're not feeling fine and you have to do a presentation, and they ask you, can you kindly record the presentation and bring it to us? You can record using PowerPoint, and then you can send so that they play and they listen to what you are saying. PowerPoint is a presentation program. It allows you to create dynamic slide presentation. So your presentation can include animation, can include narration, images, videos, and so much more. So like I said in the beginning, 2016 has the same interface like 2009, 2013, and 2010. Now, when you look at the interface, which I'm going to open very soon so that we all see how it looks like, you are always going to see a slide pane on the left, slide navigation pane. You see a ruler. You can actually deactivate the ruler, and then we can see some zoom control. So many things on the interface. And then, like we said last week, instead of the menu, now Word from 2010, they now put all the menu together in a tab form. So we call it ribbon. So that is where you can find your menu. So this is how the PowerPoint interface looks like. So when you open it, this is what you see. But for the first time, this is an already edited work. So you see something typed, but in a new content, you won't see anything. You only see probably the topic, the content or the topic, so which I will show very soon. And then we are saying that the ribbons, like we said last week, they contain multiple menu or tabs. So they have several commands that help us make our work easier once we are on PowerPoint. So creating or opening presentation. So last week, it's very simple. If you are going to start a new presentation, you look for where your application is, you open it, and then it opens. Then you go to new or create new, and then you see your first application open, your first slideshow open. You can as well go and open from an existing presentation that you have created. So let's say I have sent you a file, and then you want to open it. That's an existing file. So once I send it to you, it's on your drive, you open it. So you can open it that way. And then you can also create it. So you can even open it from your online, maybe your drive. You can open it from your drive. You can download and as well open it. So those are the two things you can do in trying to work on the PowerPoint program. So you can either create one for yourself, or you can open from an existing file. So I'll switch from here, and then I'll share the whole of my computer. So I go to start, and then I look for a PowerPoint, so I can type. Okay, so I type only power, and then the point appears. So I select PowerPoint. This for the first time I want to open PowerPoint. Okay, so for the first time, this is what happens. So last week we said that this was the back page view. Yes, so that's what we said last week. So from here, we are home, and then we see new. So if you didn't see this, you can go to new, and then this will still appear. So because we are creating a new presentation. We do new blank presentation. Then we go from there. Then you see the title page. Now this is the title page. So you can add a title here and a subtitle there. Now on the left, this is what we talk about, the navigation pane. So the slider navigation slide navigation pane on the left, where you can see my mouse. Good. Now from file, where my mouse pointer is, from file, home, insert, all this is what we call the ribbon, including this side. So like last week, you can collapse this, and then you can uncollapse it, and then it will show. So collapsing means that you want to hide this, and then if you don't want to collapse it shows. So you go to home, and then you pin it to the top, so that the ribbon always shows. Now you can add another slide here. You can do Control M, or you can do right click and say new slide. So you can add more slides here. So this is your title page. Here will be the content of what you want to present. So this is the interface. So I was talking about the ruler. I don't have a ruler here, so let me see if I can. Let's see if the same option goes for Word. So you go to view, and then you see ruler. You only check the ruler, and the ruler appears there. So just like Word, now we have the ruler here on top and on the left side. I will not use the ruler, so I will let it go off again by unchecking the ruler this. So this is the first way. This is creating a blank presentation. So I'll close this. I won't save. Then the next thing is trying to open an existing file. Let's say I have a file somewhere on my computer, which I have to look for and then open it. So I go to downloads, and one of the practice here, I open that one. So this is opening an existing presentation. So once I open it, you should know the content will show. If it's a new or a blank presentation, you only see the title slide. So I have a number of slides here. So this is how to open an existing document or an existing presentation. After doing your editing and all those things, you have to save. Now, just like Word, save is Control S. On your keyboard, you hit the Control key, hold it, and then press the S as well. So Control plus S, it has to save. For the first time, it will ask you for the location, and then you have to go and look for where you have to be, the destination of your file. And then you browse, and then you select, and then you come back and say, okay, save. Now, subsequently, when you are working in PowerPoint and use Control S, what it does is that it's going to save the new stuff you have done on PowerPoint. So it's not going to ask you to do anything at the browse level for you to select a folder and then save there. No. Once you have already done the first time, anytime you do save, it will save only the new thing that you have done. But if you save as create a copy, like we saw in Word. Save as create a copy of what you are doing. So if you have the original, let's say what you're having here is the original copy, and I don't want to edit on the original copy. Maybe I want to do comparison, and I want to save this one so that when I'm doing a comparison, I can just be checking this. You can do save as. Save as create a copy of what you are working on. So save as I go to File, then I go to Save As on the left. So it's selected. When I do Save As will ask me for the location. So I want to save in Downloads. Once I do this, then because it's a copy, the only thing I can do is that, okay, underscore copy. So that I can tell the difference between the original and then the copy. Once you do this, you see that the name up here will change. So you initially I didn't have anything copy here, but now once I did the Save As, I have the copy here. So I can go back to my downloads. If you look at the downloads, you can see copy and you can see the original as well. Okay. So that's the difference between Save As and then save. So Control S will save for the first time, and then subsequently the save will only be saving the new stuff you are doing on the presentation. So you can go through the long route of going to the tab and doing select, Save As, and all those things. But there's always one shortcut for you to use. Slide basics. So every PowerPoint presentation is composed of what? A series of slides. Like you saw me adding new slides. So on the left, you will see a number of slides. So you can have about 100 slides, about 50 slides, the number you are working with. And then these are just, you see them as placeholders. So it's something that is designed. So you have what? A header, and you have what? The content in the middle. So like the title and then the content itself. So these are all place headers, and there are different kinds of holders. Just like you are seeing on the right side, you can have different slide layouts, which you can have access to, or you can have a triad, and then you see which one you love to use. So you can use any of this. You can use the section header, you can use title only, you can use comparison, you can use two content, you can even use a blank. So if you are doing a presentation, you want to put probably a picture or something, a video, they can actually use the blank, and then just drop the video inside the blank, and you're good to go. So to insert a new slide, like I showed you even before I came to this slide, you can use the shortcut Control M on the keyboard, but you have to select the slide area. So if you want to do something like this, so maybe I will use this one more. So you want to select the play, you have to come here. So you have to be on the left side. If you want to add a new slide, you come to the left side, you click. So once you click there, you can use the Control and the M. So on my keyboard, I hit the Control key, I hold it, and then I add the M. And then the new one is a new slide appears. So you see, click to add title, click to add text. So I come here and I want to do, I want to do insert. I go to new slide. So these are the placeholders. I just thought that we should just go do it fast, and then we can move on. So these are the placeholders. So you look at what you want. Do you want only the title slide? Do you want title and content? Do you want section header? Do you want two sides, so two content? You want left and right? You want to do a comparison here? You want title only? So most of the time I will go with a blank. There's nothing. So the blank shows there's nothing here. So let me try the other ones too. Let me see comparison. So comparison is that if you want to do, maybe place a content here and compare with another content here, then you can use this slide. So maybe previously we're only using this one, the title and the content, but now you have seen that we can actually use different of the placeholders. So we can do only title. So I can just do a title here, and then instead of this title page, I can do only this one, put a title here, expand this, and then it shows on the slide. So please, whilst you are doing your slides, you can actually edit the sizes of the placeholders. So like the title, you can actually work on this, make it smaller. You can change the font and all those things. You can also as well do the same thing for this. You can move this up and down. So when you move it up or you close it, you see that the font size will change. And then when you also open it, the font size will as well change. So you can do for this as well. If you want to put an image on the right side, you can close this and then drop your image on the right side there. So there are a lot of things you can do here. There are so many things you can do here. Okay. How to organize a slide. Trying to organize the slides is very, very easy using PowerPoint. Very, very easy. You can duplicate your slide. You can copy and you can paste. You can move the slides around. You can delete your slide. So just like this, on the left side, if I feel like this slide, 38, I want to move it to what? Where 36 is, I feel like this slide is over here. All I do is I'll click and hold, and then drag it and move it to that position. Once I get there, I drop it. So it means that I have moved my slide. So I can click, hold, and drag to where it's supposed to be. I can delete this. I can just do right click and say, delete the slide. Then it goes off. I don't want to use it. I can delete it. It goes off. I can duplicate this. I can do right click and say duplicate. So it becomes double. So it's easier with PowerPoint trying to do what? Trying to organize your slides. It's very easy. So you can duplicate, you can move slides, you can delete slides, you can add slides, you can what? Create new slides, you can even add sections. Now the sections, like it will break the presentation down. So you can have section 1, maybe introduction, section 2, research methodology. Section 3 will be your design, like that. So you can actually name this. So let's say introduction for my section. Then I rename. Then you see. So once you are doing the presentation, when you get here, you see that this is a new section. So this new section can even have a different template or a different formatting technique for this section. The section above can also have a different format for this section. So you can break down your slides into sections as well. Okay, so the slideshow or the presentation, you know that if you want to present, you can't present the way I'm showing you right now. If you want to present, it means that you have to share the screen. You have to do the screen large for people to see, so that they don't see the navigation pane. So to present this, you can go to slideshow on the ribbon. So the slideshow tab, when you click it, on the left side, you see either you can do a slideshow from the beginning or from the slide that currently I am on. But because I am here currently, I will do what? I'll select from the current slide for it to show up. So if you do from the beginning, it's going to start from the very first slide. That is the title slide. So that means if the title slide is the first slide, it's going to begin from there. If it's any other slide, it's going to begin from there. Once you say begin start from the beginning. But now we are selecting start from the current slideshow. Now, Word, the beauty of Word is that it allows shortcuts. So when I say shortcuts, it means that you can use your keyboard to do all without using your mouse, going to slideshow, coming to the left side, and you can just use your keyboard. So if you want to start from the beginning, use F5. F5. So you look at the function key, F5, and then you hit the F5. So once you hit the function key, F5 on your keyboard, your presentation slideshow will start from the beginning. Now, if you want me to start from the current slide, you have to add shift to the F5. So you press and hold shift together with the F5, and then it will open to the current slideshow. Please, are we okay? Are we okay?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So I want to ask you a question. With a keyboard or with a shortcut, how will you show a current slide as a slideshow?
Shift and F5.
Okay, so we continue. PowerPoint makes it easier for the user or anybody trying to do presentation to customize your slides. Once you are able to customize your slides, it means that your presentation that you are doing, it becomes more entertaining because what I'm doing currently, like showing you a white background, it's kind of boring. But if I had some few themes or few styles working on my background, I'm sure that you appreciate the slideshow very much. So that's the reason why you have to learn how to customize your slide. So for you to be able to customize your slide, there's something we call the design tab on the ribbon. So you go to the design tab and then you click on format background. Now, whatever you do on the format background will apply to the particular slide that you are working on. If you want to apply to all the slides, then now you can what? You have to click apply to all. So having said that, I will try and show you what I'm talking about. So if you want to customize your slide, you go to design. So design on the ribbon, you see design. So you go to the design tab, you click on the tab, and then you go to the far right. So I'm moving my mouse pointer to the far right. And I see format background command on the design tab. So I select it. If I say I select, I mean that I'm doing what I'm clicking. And when I say click, I'm using what left click. So by selecting format background, I see a navigation dialog box open at the right side with format background as a title. Now from this, you can actually have a background with what? Solid fill. Solid fill means that the background will be what? A solid color. So if it is white, like you see, it's white. So if I change the color here, you see that the background changes. But because it is solid, it's only showing the color. If I change, so please, where you see the bucket, that's where you change the color, the bucket. So I change this and the background what changes. So I told you earlier on that once you do this, the slide you are working on currently is what will see the changes. Now, if you want this to apply to everything you are working with, then you have to what? Select apply all. And then on the left side, you see on the navigation pane, the slide navigation pane, that all the slides are selected to what? To the solid color ash. So if you want another color, you can come to where the bucket is, select the colors you want. Once you select the color, you do apply all. Please, it is not in every instance that you want to apply all, because sometimes you want only this slide to show a particular color. So you don't go and apply all if you want everything to what? You want only one slide to show a particular pattern or a particular color. Now from the format background, you can do a gradient fill. Now those who do graphic design will understand this better. So when you go to the steps, let me choose. So please, so you can see from this, you can see that a part of the colors is showing white, then we can see the color itself. So that's the gradient fill. So let me use a color that will be more, we can see it more good. So I use the green, and then you can actually change the feel of the white using the steps. So if I move this one to the right side, you see on my screen, the white is popping up on the button there, where my cursor is now, you see. So when I go on the right side more, the white is what is being shown on my slide, the more. So you can also use the gradient to change the background of your slide. So you can do gradient fill. You can use a picture even as your background. So once you select the picture, you go to the picture source, you look for a picture, you insert. I know sometimes PowerPoint has some predefined templates. So I want to work offline, please. It's taking too long. Okay, so I do from file. So I have some pictures here. Let me go to downloads. Let me see if I can find some picture. Okay, let me use this one. And then I insert. Once I do that, it comes, you see the picture behind the text. Now what happens is that when you use something like this, it means that you have to learn how to change the color of your font. If you want to change the color of the font, select the text, go to home, select the text, go to home, and then on the font command, you will see this A with the underline red. If you have not used this before, to be black. So we call it the font color. So you can just go here and select a color that you think that it will match the background. So I will use this light blue accent, and then at least I see that it matches with what? The background of my slide. When you choose the background and the background color is not really helping you with the what? The text of the slide, then you go and then you change what? The color of the slide. So the three most important things you can do to your background is to what? Do a solid fill, a gradient fill, or what? A picture fill. So now what you are seeing on my background is that because I selected, you know, we have the background, we have the text area, and then we have the title. Because my pointer was on the text area, when I change when I change the background, it affected this one. So that means that if you want to change only this area as well, you can change it. You can change for this too as well. So once I do a pattern fill, the top two what will change. Once I click outside this, and I come back to this, it changes from here. Once I click into this and I do no fill, it comes back to no fill. Once I click here and I come to no fill, nothing happens. Then I come outside the slide and I click. I say, okay, now let me use the picture. It shows you a background with a picture. So PowerPoint has what? Predefined combination of colors, fonts, and then effects. Now, the combination is what we call a theme. So whenever you select any theme, it affects the color of your presentation, the color of the text, the font, and the font type, as well as what the effects that are happening on what your presentation. Now, these themes can change the look and feel of what your entire slideshow. So like I'm using the white background. Immediately I select a theme, everything changes. But please, you have to select a theme that you desire, a theme that you want, and it must fit the occasion. You can't select anything for any occasion. You have to know what you are going to present and where you are going to present for you to what? Select a theme for what? That particular presentation. So to apply a theme, we'll still go back to the design tab. So like you saw over there. So if you go to the design tab on the ribbon, you can see the themes scattered over here. So from where my mouse pointer is, you see a capital A and a small a. Down to the right, these are all themes. So you see me move the mouse pointer and you see the themes previewing on my slides. So it previews on my slide. So which themes you want, you can select, and then you can also edit to fit what you want to present. So I can click on the arrow here, the down arrow, to look at the various themes that we have. So we can have a lot of themes here. So you can select any theme you want. Okay, so let me go here. Let me use this theme. Once you select, it applies to all. So I'm going to the themes. This is what I've selected. I selected this one. And then once you select it on the right side, so we have themes and then we have variants. So on the right side, you can actually change the feel, the color of what? The theme that you are selecting. So you can go here and then select the colors you want. So by clicking on the variant, the arrow down there, and selecting color, you can change the look and the feel of what? The theme that you have selected. So the one that we saw earlier on looked too bright. So you can come back and what? And do the changes to the slide that you want to use. You can come in and choose maybe something that is very light. You can also choose the font, can change the font as well. Once the mouse pointer is going over the font type, you see that it changes on my slide. Okay, so you can select any of these. Anyone that suits you can select it. Okay, you can come back and then you can do the background too as well. You can change the background. So even though the theme you are seeing over there looks too bright, you can do a number of things to the theme. So you can select this one, and then it will change the background as well. Even though you have done all this effect, you can come back and say, oh, okay, now I don't like this theme again. Let me change it to a simple one. You select this, it changes. So you can all the time change. You can go back to the variant and choose something different. You can choose something different. You can go click the arrow, look at the colors, look at which one you love. Just change it to suit what you want. You can change the font as well. And come back here and go to this thing, Calibri. Change it, please. Like I've been telling the in-person class, try and do it. Like play with it so that you get used to it. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, let's see if we can go through the activities. I have to open a slide. There's a slide that I was supposed to share with you. So this. Okay, so this is what we are supposed to do. Change the theme of this presentation, delete slide 7. This slide should be blank. Add new slide with the title and content layout to the end of the presentation. In the title placeholder, type adoption event date. Select the content placeholder and delete it. Insert the text box and type July 17, 2017 side date. So they've given us a number of things to do. So we are saying that change the theme of representation. So it didn't specify what we should do. So we are going to change the theme. We are going to go to design. We are going to select any of the themes. We'll go with, let's go with this one. So I'll go with this one. Good. So please see the difference between the initial title. Look at the title. Just look at the title, and then you see this is just default, something default, free default. And once I select this, everything changes. Okay, so that's the first thing that we have been asked to do. We change the theme. Say delete slide 7. So we look at this slide 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we should delete. So delete, right click, and then we delete the slide. Bam, it's gone. Now the next thing is what? Add a new slide with a title and content layout to the end of the presentation. So we go to the end, we move the slider to the end, and then I select here the end, and I say add new slider. So I'm going to use the keyboard, Control+M. Bam, the new one comes. If you can't do Control+M, you select, once you see the line over there, you click, you see the line, you do right click, you do new slide. Okay, that's a new slide for you. Then in the title placeholder, type adoption event date. So I'll copy this. And I go back here. It's a title, so I'll just do a paste here. Good. Last week I told you that when you are doing when we're using Word, I told you that when you are doing a copy and paste, it's always proper to use this one, the first option, keep text only, so that at least once you do the paste, it will adopt the formatting on this particular document. If I had done any other thing, it would have brought this formatting over there. If I do this and I say this, or you see, keep source formatting. So if you do control paste, it may keep the source, the formatting of the source. But because we don't want to use the formatting of the source, it's always important and good to do what? Paste with what? Keep text only. But the text will show, and then it will not affect what? The formatting. The activity is saying that we should select the content placeholder. Now, this is a content placeholder, this one, where you have the content of your text. That's a content placeholder. And then this is what? Your title placeholder. So we want to delete this one. So we select this, and then I use the delete on the keyboard, DEL on the keyboard, delete, it's gone. Whatever happens on Word, you can actually do the manipulation as well on PowerPoint. So like copy and paste, delete, move text, cut and paste. You can always do it the same way we did on Word. So if I want to copy and paste this, I only select this, I do copy, and then where I want to paste it, I take the mouse pointer to where I want to paste it, I do what? Paste, and it shows there. Okay. If I want to delete this, I can do backspace on the keyboard, backspace deletes it. I can select and use the delete on the keyboard or the backspace to still delete it. It's gone. If I want to move this text, I can select this, my mouse. I will click, hold, and then drag to the last side. It moves. I've moved the text. So let me say I want to put it down here. I do this, I move it, I put it here, bam, it's there. If I want to drag and drop, moving and dragging and drop is the same. So I can do drag. Maybe I want to bring the drag and drop in the middle of formatting and aligning. So I click, hold, move it, and I drop it here. And then it comes to where you have formatting. I can only do this and delete, and then I align it well. And then it comes in between. So we can select the type of font by going to home, looking at the font area, the type of font. We can change this. You can change this, the font type. You can change the font size as well. By using the number here, you can change the font size. And then if you are creating your slideshow, you know that every point will come with a bullet. So once you hit enter, it goes with a bullet. Enter, bullet. Now, if you want to do a sub, maybe you have a point and you have to talk about the point in other points. So on the main point, you go to the next point. All you do is that you hit the tab key on your keyboard. Let me see if I can show my virtual keyboard. It's normally before the kill key. So when I do tab, you see this move. Then now I can type this, enter, and type that. So it means that I want to illustrate. I want to illustrate more on the major point, or give examples on what. So maybe this is what I say, types of food. Then I come down here, I do a tab, then I give the type 1, maybe bangkun. I go to the second option, I do fufu. So that's how you work your way around. If you come back to maybe the second step and you go down, you want to give another example, you can still use the tab key. It will become smaller, and then you type. You can go the same way and do it like that, so that the presentation becomes easier to read, easier to see, easier for people to appreciate. Okay. Now, transitions. There are special effects that PowerPoint allows us to apply to the presentation. So when we look at transition, the easiest one we can do is to try to push maybe one slide to that. So you are pushing from right to left, or you are pushing the slide from top to the button. So you can also use fading as well. So that is what we call transition. So transition is moving from slide A to slide B, the effect that you want to add to that movement. So it's either you are sliding it, or you are pushing it, or you are rolling it. So that is what transition. So to apply a transition, you still go to the transition tab on your ribbon. So I'll exit this. So this is the transition. This is the transition. So we will see the designs for the transitions. And then when I click on the button over there, the down arrow there, we will see the effects for the transitions. So we have a number of effects for your transitions. Now, when I do fade, so it gives me an example. So what you are seeing is that from the first page to the page on what I'm presenting on transitions, whenever I'm presenting and I get there, once I move, I say go to next from this text basis. Before it will get to the transition slide, it's going to fade out. So I will show you right now. When I do this as a slide, and maybe I say move to the next slide, and you see the fading. it fades. When I go back, it fades. Now, when I go back, it does not work because currently I've not applied the effect to all the slides. So it will only apply to only the current slide. Now, when I do apply to all, it means that I am telling PowerPoint that everything on this slide, when I am presenting the slideshow and I click next, every slide should fade on the transition tab. So the apply all is there. When you do apply all, it applies to all the slides. So when I do a slideshow, from a current slide and I go back, you see the changes. So you can also change the duration of transition. Let me say 90 seconds. And I apply to all, and I come and do the slide. Because we have added some time, now we can see before the time was too short, so we couldn't see the fading. So let me select maybe the push as well and apply to all. Once I select the push, the default is what? Pushing from top, bottom to top. Now you can go to the push up effect option. When you select the effect option, you have the option of what? Pushing from the left, pushing from the right, pushing from the top. So if you feel like pushing from the left is not good, you can come and select pushing from what? The right. So I'll do from the top and I'll apply it to all. And then I go back to slideshow and then I what? So that's it. When I go next, the same thing happens. Next, the same thing happens. When I go back, the same things happen. So I see this is what I want to happen to my slide. So you can actually play around with the transition effect. You can play around with all of this. You can play around with this. Let me use blinds small. Good. This is blinds. So once you select it, so I want horizontal. I don't want vertical. Horizontal. Okay, it shows. I think this is nice. So. Okay, let me check this. Wow. So once you select a nice transition effect, when you are doing the presentation, even you're not doing well, or at least the transition alone can make people happy. So if you are doing your dissertation presentation and things are not going on well, I'm sure if you use a good transition, a good team, at least your lecturers will be happy, or your the examiners will be happy. So please, when you go to transition, play with all this, play with them. You can actually add sound. So I can do maybe, let's see, camera. I hope you can hear. Let me apply it to all and go back and then do a slideshow. Okay, so I'm sure you heard the sound. So anytime you move to the next slide, you hear the sound, yeah. And then you see the transition effect also working. Okay, good. Then from transition, we'll go to animation. Now, animation or movement on the slide can be used to draw audience attention. It makes your slide easier to read. You can animate text and objects like clip art, shapes, and pictures. Now, there are 4 types of animation, which we'll look at, the 4 types. So when you go to animation tab on the ribbon and you select the drop down arrow, you see the 4 types. So we see entrance, we see emphasis, we see exit, and then we go down and we see motion path. So from here, we are saying that the controls how objects fall on the slide. So the entrance, you want it to fall. Then the exit is how what object will exit from the slide. So we'll check one example from each. So I'll do fly in. So we see. So the animation works what? On the content placeholder. So we can see the numbers on the text lines. So please, I hope you can see 4 here. It means that on this particular text, all these are what? They are subtext what? The main text. So they all continue on this animation effect. So the effect that you just saw was how you enter. So the entrance means that when you go to the next slide, this is what will show. So let me do a slideshow from here. Okay. So when I come to animation, I'm presenting, and I do, okay, show me next text. So the entrance is now coming in, entrance. So just like we did for the transitions, you can as well add duration for what? The movement. You can do whether you want to click or you want to do what with preview. So once you click, it comes, or once you move the pointer, maybe you select next slide. You can select all those things there. So you play around these options. Please play around these options. So the first one was what? The entrance. Now let's select something from what? The emphasis. So I'll do spin. Okay, that is spin for you. And then the next one for the exit will be what? So let's say disappear. So once I'm on this slide and maybe I'm moving to the next slide, it means that the text here has to disappear. So this is the animation effect that will apply on the content. When you are doing a presentation, you must pay attention to your the slide. So on the left corner, this is white, so you may not see it properly. So maybe I have to change the format style of this. Let me change the format and come back and show you something. Let me use a gray color. Okay. Okay, so when you come here, when you come to the lower button, you will see that you will see some options there. So you can use this option to go to the next or go to the previous slide. That is the right and the left. You can use this one. You can select a laser pointer to use for what? Your presentation. So once you are doing presentation, you can select this to use. So if you don't have a laser, you can actually select a laser from what? Your slideshow, and then you can use this for what? Emphasis. So when you go back there, you can also use what? The pen to write within. You can use this to write within your presentation. So if you are doing a presentation, you need to do illustrations, or if you have a chart which you want to illustrate further, you can use your pen to do more work on the slideshow. Once you are done with this, you can use the eraser to clean it, or you can erase all, and then you are good to go. And then when you are doing presentation, maybe you want to move to another. You want to move to another slide. Maybe you want to jump the slides. When you click on this, where my mouse pointer is, the grid view. When you click on it, you will see the grid view of what? All your slides. So I want to move from slide 48 and go to what? Slide 52. So I click this, and then it shows. Now, when you are projecting on a projector, those who are viewing on a projector will not see what I just did. So for them, they will think that I am moving from what? Animation to what? Rehearsing. But they wouldn't know that there were some slides in between what? Animation and rehearsing. So if you are projecting on maybe a screen, TV or projector, once you do that, those who are observing will not see, but you will see it on on your computer. So these things can really help you. If you are doing presentation, you feel like you are delaying and you want to skip, you don't want the observers to see that you are skipping, you are just moving them fast. You can just select that grid view, and then you move like 10 slides and move to the next one, and then they don't see anything. So the bullets on this, you can actually change all this. You can change this one. You go to the home, and then on the paragraph area, when you go to the top, you will see bullets. You see bullets. So this dot, you can actually change this dot to any symbol, any bullet you want to use. You can use this. You can change all of this by clicking on this arrow and selecting your desired art or graphic. So you can change, instead of the dot, you can use any other object you want to use. You can actually go and select this one as well. If this is nice, you can use this one. You can change this to numbers. If you want to do numbers, you can change it to numbers. So that's the list and the bullets. So adding pictures and then adding videos. If you want to add a picture, you go to what? Insert. The same for the video. So let me do a blank slide. So I go to new slide. I want blank. Now on the blank slide, I want to insert a picture or a video. I go to insert. There's a picture here. So I go to picture. I can do from online or from this device. So let me select from this device. I go to this device and I select this. Good. And then bam. So it's on what? The slide. Okay. I can also dump. I can also go to my file. I also go to the file and then dump the image onto the slide. So I can do click, hold, drag, and then dump it here. And it will still do the same action for me. So I can go to I can come here, do the same thing here, put it down there. Now, once I see that this is occupying the page, I can edit or change this by using what? The controls on the borders of the picture. So it's something like this, the circle that we see over there, you can click it, and then you can make it smaller, you can make it larger, you can find a space and put it there. So I can put it somewhere here. And that is all. So that's how you can manipulate your picture. If you want to put a picture alongside, like I showed you earlier on, you can actually do this, push this one here, bring the picture here, change this control. Okay, you put it here, side by side. So that's how you manipulate the pictures, and then the placeholders for the content. So just like we did, you can move this, make it bigger. You can as well also try and do this one, push this one up to fit. You can even move this placeholder as well. You can move it to a desired location area, just like you're moving the picture. You can move this one as well. If you don't have space, you can move this one up small, and then try and open this one up. Try and open this one up as well. So that's how we do the editing. Click, hold, drag. Click, hold, drag. Then it changes. You can put any picture on your slide, and you can edit the picture to suit the slide so that when you are presenting, it doesn't give you any problem. Now on the slideshow tab, you can see rehearse, timing, and record. So these are the two things we are going to do. You can do rehearse, timing. So when I go to rehearse, I select rehearse timing. Okay, so it brings me toward the beginning of my slide. Now, earlier I told that if you want to do rehearsal, you want to prepare yourself for what? You want to prepare yourself for maybe a presentation next week. So you are trying to work around this. You'll be given 10 minutes to present. You have about 24 slides, and you want to beat the time. So you set yourself up for that occasion. So maybe you are doing rehearsals. So let's say I begin the slide. So I speak like 3 seconds, and I go to, please, now look at the timer. You see, it's recording. Now, when I click next, this one resets. The first one resets, but this continues. So this will be the total amount of time you use for the whole presentation. And the one in the box, the slide time, this time will be the one for what? The particular slide. So every slide will have a particular time what you used. So anytime I do next, this thing will change. This time will reset to 000. So maybe I finish rehearsing for this particular slide, and I say next. Now you see that this slide time changes to 00. Then it begins again, because when I come to this slide, I will now begin to talk again. So once I finish here, I go to the next one. The time resets. I do my rehearsal. I go next. It resets. Now, once I finish this, okay, maybe I'll finish. I finish. You see, it will give you an information and say that the total time for your slideshow was 1 minute 31 seconds. Do you want to save this new slideshow? You say yes. Now, when you save this and you want to rehearse for the second time, now you will not do the recording. It will play. Now, when you place and you are doing, you are presenting, once it gets to the time that initially you used to what? Move from slide A to slide B. Once it gets to that 33 seconds, it will automatically move to what? The next slide. So it will keep you in shape. So that even if you are talking too much and then the slide moves, it tells you that, hey, Daniel, please, you're supposed to move from slide A to what? Slide B. So you can actually time yourself with rehearsals for 10 minutes and then you prepare yourself for what? Your presentation for the next week. So this area, this is what you will use for what? Your rehearsals, and it will really help you to get yourself set up for what? A meeting or for a presentation. Then the same applies to recording. So if I want to record this one, you will need a microphone. So if I do recording, it means that anything I'm doing now, I'm presenting the slide on my own. Immediately I finish and I save, I can send the video to anyone at all and say, oh, please, you can play this for the class. I'm not coming today. So I can send it to Foster and say, Foster, please play this slideshow to the class. I will not be coming today. And any question they have, they can send to me on the platform. So you record and then you play. So when you go to the banks and they are doing more of the slideshow, more of them, they are recorded slideshows. So if you have a screen in your, maybe a restaurant, you have a screen in a sport bar, you can actually record a slideshow and then on your pen drive, you play on the screen. So when people come there, they can be enjoying the presentation. So we do this for what? Your menu, you do that for maybe your dollar rate and all those things. You can use the slideshow for those things. And please, thank you for joining. Like I said earlier on, if you like what we are doing, you can just get into the community, the WhatsApp community, and tap on the Ssendacom IT Skill App. Then we will accept you, and then you join that group. We thank you for this evening. Thank you for your time. We hope that you put this into practice. Practice, 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 and you become perfect. Okay, have a lovely evening.
Thank you.